All right, we are live. Thank you guys for coming out to listening to another Zoom webinar from Pro Seller Talk, presenting another webinar with John Chartier. Did I say it right, John?
Close enough.
Okay.
It's Chartier, but that's fine. I don't care.
Okay, Chartier. Sorry about that. John has a unique story because John is he started from zero, and now he has done $1 million in sales plus. And you know, it's great to have him here and share his knowledge and experience with us. And hopefully you guys listen and gain some wisdom tonight. This is another free webinar that we're doing. And John has graciously decided to, to come on here and share his knowledge with us. So, hey, John, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, a little bit about your background, and then how you got started.
Well, can I brag first?
You certainly can.
12 days to retirement. I move into my 38.5-foot motorhome. And yes, I will be running my business from the motorhome, but I have 12 days until we actually pull out of here living in our motorhome. Full time.
Awesome. So you're gonna become one of those RV on the road type guys.
Yes, I am.
That's awesome. That's really awesome. So tell us a little bit about you.
My name is John Chartier. In 2007, I slept under the boardwalk in Atlantic City in front of Showboat Hotel Casino. I left there on my motorcycle. All I have was my motorcycle. I left there and went to Florida. My mother called me in the week before Memorial Day and asked me to come home and take care of my dad, who had Alzheimer's. He had ruined their savings, and she asked me to come home so that she could work and I'd watch him during the day, and she would work, and then I would be off at night and she would take care of him. And I got started selling flags on eBay. I've always sold 100% wholesale. This RA stuff that I do, I did some RA for Black Friday this year, is very new to me, and I only do it for Christmas. I didn't know what Facebook was. I didn't know what the groups were. I didn't find them until after 7 years of selling. I found them in late 2013, 14. I just did it the hard way. One sale at a time. I don't know. For me, there's no easy way. I just did it one sale at a time. Back then, I learned that you could run auctions every 15 minutes. And the rules were much different way back then. I sold flags for 99 cents with $6.99 shipping and handling. And I made, I think it was $1.12 a piece. And I had an auction ending every 13 minutes, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And that's how I got started. And I have built it from there. Without the support of my wife, I wouldn't be able to do it. My wife's sitting in the other room. She has nothing to do with the business except for the fact that she says, yeah, okay, whatever you want to do, go do it. I sold on eBay. I did not sell on Amazon. And I made a commitment to a very close friend of mine that I would sell flags for 1 year. I wouldn't look at any other product. And I still sell flags today. It's one of my biggest niches. I'm very competitive in it. I just got approved for Walmart.com. Yeah, I don't know. I'm a little nervous about Walmart. You better be ready if you sign up. I get an email probably twice a day saying that I haven't done anything in 6 hours. Can I open my account and work on it?
Yeah, they're very aggressive, and we sell on Walmart, and we do really well on Walmart.com. So it's a smart move on your part to get on Walmart. We like it. We do real well with Walmart, but they are very aggressive with wanting you to complete your application and do what you need to do to be able to sell on there. But I can tell you, we found it to be a great marketplace, other than Amazon itself?
I'm going to bring up a dirty word in this business. You know what it is, right?
I have an idea.
I'm 100, I run almost 100% drop ship, but I do not do any drop shipping. Chris Green describes it best. He called it, I wish I could remember exactly because I loved what he said. Direct to the consumer, manufactured, fulfilled, direct to the consumer. My product, I don't use a third-party drop shipper. I only work with very limited number of companies, and they are the manufacturer. And I follow every single rule there is about drop shipping. Amazon has 6 pages of rules on drop shipping, and so does Walmart. Walmart does allow drop shipping. I did speak to them about it, but it has to be blind. It has to be my return address. It has to be my postage. It has to be no advertising. No, I'm allowed to put a packing slip in it. But that's one of the things that helped me along. Out of my screen. I follow Gary V's advice. Basically, I get up in the morning, I go to work, and I work all day. The day my dad died, I got up at 3 o'clock in the morning. I went and did all my shipping, came home, I took a shower. I got dressed for the funeral. I went to the funeral. We buried him, and then I came back and I went to work. I've put in a lot of hard work over the years. And the other thing is I believe in luck, which is labor under correct knowledge. I don't know how many people are in the room. I can't see anything other than a little bit of chat that doesn't show anything really.
Yeah, there's nobody chatting yet.
Okay. I believe in luck, which is labor under correct knowledge. An old man taught me that at my first job. And I've stuck by that. I believe in learning. I just work hard, and I believe in sticking in your niche. I have 6 suppliers that I use, 5 or 6 suppliers that I use, and that is it. Nobody else. I know a lot of people go wide and not deep. I was in the Philadelphia Naval Yard this morning. When did you make it? 2016. I did 1.1 million. I broke 1 million on Amazon, and I did just under 100,000 on eBay. And I open eBay, and I'm kind of embarrassed to admit this. I open my eBay account once a month. My drop ship is now fully automatic. I sell product that gets very few questions, so I don't have a lot of customer. I get more spam in my Amazon account than actual consumers. And I don't know if you have that now, John. Do you sell on Amazon?
Yeah, we're big time sellers on Amazon as well as Walmart and other platforms. We did about 1.8 million this year on Amazon.
Okay, so but do you get that spam?
We do a lot of private label. I mean, we're into private label big time, so we don't get a lot of that spam.
You don't get the thing saying I can make your listing #1 in search?
Not really a lot of that. We used to a long time ago, but I think that we've gotten off of those lists where they're sending out those stuff because, you know, anybody can say that they can make you #1 with, you know, the things that are out there. But there's many tools, and I was going to ask you, when you built this, first of all, 2 different things. You built this business up to 1.1 million. Congratulations. That's a huge accomplishment. First of all, do you run it yourself? Do you have help? And another part of the question is, who are your mentors? Do you think that you give credit to that have been an influence in your life to be able to get you to where you are?
All right, you broke up through most of that. I missed the whole first part of it.
Of what I said.
The credit part, I give to God first.
Absolutely.
Go ahead.
Absolutely. I'm just trying to move this around here. I'm out in the woods, so sometimes my signal just messes with me. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
All right.
Your video looks frozen.
Nah, is it frozen?
Yeah, your head. Oh, there you go. You just moved.
All right. We're going to do this. We're going to, you don't need to see me right now. I'll just talk. Can you hear me?
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, that's good. I'm trying to remember what I said. I know I said, who were your biggest people that were your mentors and that you credit with helping you get to where you are today? I mean, I know that I have some huge mentors: Jim Cochran, Chris Green, Skip McGrath. There's a lot of them that I can tell you that I've known since the late 90s and early 2000s that I credit with a lot of the knowledge and information that I've got as far as especially with the outsourcing. Jim Cochran was a huge influence on me of outsourcing things that I didn't have to do. I'm just curious of first of all, when you got started and you started doing this, the first part of my question I remember now is, do you do this business alone with the 1.1 million, or do you have a team? How did you get to that point? And like I said, did you do it yourself? And then also the second part of that question was, who do you contribute to helping you along the way?
Okay. The biggest influence I had in how I run my business, the actual business of business, is my mother. I didn't know what these groups were. I really didn't. I just worked. That's all I knew how to do was I knew how to sell one thing on eBay, so I sold more. Jason Smith helped me a lot with growing my eBay business. When I met Jason, I had 5 eBay stores. I eventually had 7 eBay stores with about 20,000 items listed. All bought from Goodwill except for my flags. Jason and I met in Philadelphia, and it was shortly after my father passed away and my mother didn't want to work anymore. So I bought and sold used clothes so that my mother didn't have to work. And I did that for a long time, and I hung out in eBay groups, and the eBay groups are a little bit different than the Amazon groups. They help you, but they don't, I don't want to say that it's a different type of selling. They're resellers of, most of them are resellers of,
I think collectibles and things like that is a big market.
I wanted to say thrifted items is the word I was trying to come up with was thrifted items. It wasn't it's not a business model that you can scale to any good size. I mean, don't get me wrong, I had a tractor trailer full of clothes. Systems and processes were very important of knowing where the right pair of blue jeans were that you just sold on eBay when you have 500 pairs of jeans listed. When I switched into Amazon, I basically had a hands-free dropship business with the flags. And somebody said, you really need to list them on Amazon. And I heard so much that Amazon would kick you off, you get suspended, you lose all your money, they never pay you. So I was very scared to go on to Amazon. And then when I finally went on to Amazon, I found a group of people that said, oh, you got to check this room out, check that room out. And I eventually found, this was when all the I don't want to call them gurus, I don't want to start a controversy. I know it's a very controversial topic, the paid groups. I've been kicked out of paid groups for having an opinion. I don't know if you remember RB3.
Oh, sure.
That's when I started finding people like Chris Green. And I hounded Chris Green. Chris Green will tell you I hounded him. Because at the time he was coming out with the OA book. And I thought sitting at home, looking on the computer for stuff was going to be the way to go. OA was all of that. Chris, I love you. I read chapter 1 and threw the book away. It was not for me. I am 100% wholesale. I do most of my business is done face to face or on the phone. If you tell me I got to email you an order, I do not do business with your company. I built this. My internet. Now my internet's unstable. Holy cow!
I see you fine.
Okay. I got hooked up with Sam Cohen and Dan. I don't even know how to pronounce Dan's last name. Meters, I think.
Oh, Dan Metters?
With the wholesale formula.
Yeah, Daniel and Eric.
Yes. Great guys. I offered them. I had a phone call with Dan. I was sitting in Best Buy parking lot. My wife was in the car, wanted to go eat dinner. I remember like it was yesterday. I offered Dan half my business for free. All he had to do was run my business because at the time I felt like I wasn't capable of running it. I didn't know what I was doing. And he asked me a question. His question was, what are my top 10 sellers? What are the top 10 best-selling items that I had? I had no clue. None. I eventually got in his course, but at the same time, I was talking to Sam Cohen, and I actually have a point with the story. It's one of the most important things that that'll probably anybody can get out of this. I went to I met Sam up in North Jersey. I'm in South Jersey, so I went up to his warehouse. His program wasn't for me, but we were headed to Florida. And he says, you got to go to Chris Green's conference. He says, I can get you in for a discounted price because it was like 3 days before the conference or something. And however it worked out, I ended up being able to go to Chris Green's Scan Power conference in Orlando, Florida. And this is how I got the $1.1 million. The conference was okay. I'm loud, as you can tell. You probably turned me down a couple of times. I'm very shy around people. I don't like to talk in public. Actually, I'm the life of the party. I have no problems walking up and introducing myself to everybody in the room. I figured if I spent this money, I was going to shake everybody's hand, and when I left the conference, everybody would know who John Chartier is. 4 kids walked up on stage with an old lady that looked like a grandma. Sorry, KIB, but you reminded me of my grandma when you got up on that stage. These 4 young kids, and they're kids to me, we're talking about doing $100,000 a month each. I instantly raised my hand, and anybody who was there seen me raise my hand. And these guys were on stage talking. I just kept my hand up until they called on me. I'm very shy about things like that. And they finally called on me, and I said, how do I join your group? And that little one on the end, Goose, he's my new partner. And I actually called Goose the whole time I was there, the 2 days I was there, my partner. They are known as the Young Guns. And after they come down off the stage, we went to lunch and I got to talk with them. And one of them was having a problem. I said, if it continues to be a problem, just let me know. I'll help you with it. I handle that type of stuff every day. And I think that surprised them a little bit. And we've never really, I only run into them at conferences now, but we always hang out when I do. We talk. They're great guys. I credit them with my $1.1 million more than anybody else. Because I thought if 4 young kids could make $100,000 a month, I could too.
I think it's important. I think the moral of your story here too is, and I'm totally 100% on board with this, is that if you didn't go to Chris Green's Orlando conference, where would you have been, and how far would you have been in your business? And it's very important, and people need to understand, yeah, it does take money to make money, but these conferences are not just about the people that are on the stage, like what you're talking about. The networking that you do in these conferences is where your business is going to grow leaps and bounds. That is why I go to conferences. That is probably why you continue to go to conferences, is because of the relationships that you build, and that's where your business is going to grow. I think people need to understand, when you see conferences that cost these fees, don't look at what the conference costs. Look at the people that are going to be going to these conferences, the speakers and the people that are in the audience. And the value that you're going to get out of that is tenfold of what you end up paying at the conference itself. And like you said, I know that Sam Cohen has conferences that he does, great conferences. Chris Green does his Orlando one a couple times, once a year he does them.
Yep.
I don't know if you know Jim Corcoran. Jim Corcoran does CES conferences. I spoke at the first 2 that he did. And guess what I did? Even though I was speaking there, I was down in that audience, picking people's brains and seeing who was there and finding out their stories. And I've developed powerful business partnerships and relationships because of conferences.
Well, I was getting to that, but I met Dan and Eric, the Young Guns, KIB, Dwayne from Fast Turns.
Dwayne Malik, yep.
KIB, if I didn't say her, Chris Green, of course, Andy Slammons, who I am trying to do some work with, and the network. I only remember one speaker there, and anybody who was there, I called him the Bat Boy. He talked about selling bats he sold against Amazon and how he was able to knock Amazon off of listings. And I always found that fascinating. So I remembered him. But what came from that conference, more than the people that stood on stage and actually spoke and what they spoke, was the hallway meetings where you stood out in the hallway and you got to talk to these guys. Or you sat down and had lunch, and I hope I don't get in trouble, but what they were talking about was one of their products became restricted for hazmat, and I told them I would be able to fulfill it and how to fulfill it, and how I did shipping and if they needed anything like that, just let me know and I'd be able to help them. Although I didn't help them at that point, I always talk to them. I'm able to go to, I'm able to reach out to them and say, hey, I got this problem. Can I reach out to these guys now and say, hey, I got this product I'm thinking about, but, I'm not really sure. What do you think? These guys ain't going to take, I trust them. They're not going to take my idea. I know that. The networking is the most important part, because I got to tell you, a lot of people say, "Oh, you made $1 million. You're pretty smart." No, I'm not the sharpest knife in the drawer. Remember where I started? I was homeless. I don't have a Harvard education. You know, I was at a company today, and I'm not going to divulge the company because I have a deal with them to sell their product. I went to their corporate headquarters. You got to understand, I don't know if you can see it. I wear a Harley t-shirt. I own a couple pairs of jeans and a bunch of t-shirts. I'm not I don't put a tie on for nobody. My wife and I got married, and I said, the first person that shows up at my wedding with a tie on, I get to cut it off. And that was on our invitation. I walked up to this building that had all this security. You pushed the button, you got in the first glass door, and then they locked that door, and you're locked in between two glass doors before they let you into the building. It's a billion-dollar company, and I was there to meet the owner. He does business in 20 countries. He was showing me video of proprietary engineering that he has. He has boxes that literally fly around the warehouse for fulfillment. And I'm there, it's a little old me, to work a deal with the owner, not a salesman or a sales rep. This guy owns the joint. And I was able to put that deal together because it was one-on-one, personal, and I'm very good at that. I have I'm a little shy around people, so I don't have a, outgoing personality. I have to work on that a little, I'm told. But he was like, how do you know how to do all this stuff? By the grace of God. There's nothing else, because I'm not smart. I don't have a college education in business. I don't have a background in statistics or number crunching. People say, how much money are you making? I don't have a freaking clue. I don't have a clue of how much money I make. I have an accountant for that. I know how to do one thing. I know how to sell. I can sell. That's all I know how to do. Gary Vee says, do what you're good at. So I just keep selling. My accountant says, you're not paying the bills. Okay, I go out and sell some more. He's not told me that, by the way. I am profitable. I do get a P&L statement. The first time I had to pay him for 2 hours to go over and look and teach me what a P&L statement said, because I had no clue what the numbers were telling me. That's why I tried to give half my business away. God's blessed me. He took me from under the boardwalk in front of the showboat to a wonderful wife that I can't give enough praise to. She has supported me. I bought something and we lost. My wife's a special education teacher, so she only gets paid 10 months a year. She's retiring in 12 days. She doesn't get paid in July and August. We depended on my salary in July and August. I bought a product in August. Now, she doesn't get her first check till September 15th. And we lost a lot of money. And I went to her and I said, baby, if we go to McDonald's, you got to eat off the dollar menu. We in trouble. And it's nothing you did. It's all my fault. And she said, that's okay. You'll do better. And she supported me all the way through it. So when she says, I want to go to Vegas for Christmas, we went to Vegas, and she didn't know, but she could get anything she wanted in Vegas. We had a wonderful time. Powerful. Yeah, I have a powerful story. I didn't tell you my whole story. I have a very colorful, dark past. I've written my own testimony out, and the first line goes something to the effect that attempted to be run over by my father, raped by a cop, and my children kidnapped on Christmas Day. And that's the good things that's happened in my life. God has really blessed me in my life. I would never change a thing. And he does deserve all glory. And I'm sorry, I'll get off of that and back onto the selling. Listen, you can do this. Anybody that's listening, anybody that watches this, anybody that sees this, anybody I talk to, I am not that smart. It's very simple. I buy this cup for $1, and I did buy it for $1, by the way. It's an M&M cup. And I could sell it on eBay for $19.95. I know that. I know what these cups are worth. I actually had 2 of them, and I don't know if my wife remembers. I put them in top of the shopping cart, you know, where the little kids' legs go through. One of them rolled out and broke. It was a set 4. I'm sorry, it was 4 mugs. And they broke, and I got to keep one, and I keep it as a, I don't know, a momentum thing. All you have to do is get up in the morning, thank the Lord, and do something. Do something. Every one of you can do what I did, because I'll tell you, I failed more than I succeeded. My successes are very small compared to my failures. And network, please. Network with people, other people. Dwayne Malik openly helped me with my business. There was a girl in the wholesale formula group. Her first name was Denise. I'm very bad with names. I'm sorry. I did a lot of things in my life that kind of messed up my some of my organs. I don't remember a lot of things sometimes. I'm really bad with names. She hounded me about my numbers, about my inventory. I didn't understand any of it, and I still don't understand most of it. I sold 177,000 in December, and my goal was 200,000. Now I'm kind of disappointed in myself, not because I didn't hit the 200,000, but because for a year, a solid year, I said I needed to know what my inventory was, and I couldn't allow my inventory to run out. And I ran out of so much stuff at Christmas that I carry every day. Hold on. What tools are you using in your business? That's from John. Tools in my business. I got to stop and think. I don't do much in my business, guys. If you look me up on Facebook, if you search for me, I started a lot of pages and groups because I wanted to I write very long articles, and I've gotten kicked out of a lot of groups because everybody thinks I'm trying to sell something. I ain't got nothing to sell except I started in October of 2015, and I was tired of my job and said I wanted to fire myself. So my tools that I use, to give you an idea, just so you know, I have 2 warehouses. I have 2 warehouses. I have one in New Jersey and one in Arizona. I have an employee in Florida. I currently have, I give back. I don't keep the profit for myself. I do take a paycheck. I'm not going to lie. I don't do this for free. God's blessed me, and I try to bless others. My brother needed a full-time job, and he's my warehouse manager in Arizona, and he's probably the best paid warehouse manager for an Amazon business. But he does very well for me. I use Seller Central heavily. I build all my shipping plans in Seller Central. I did have Inventory Lab. but there was problems with having a second warehouse. I had to have the same printers and same this, and everything had to be exact. And I can't tell you what I had for breakfast, let alone worry about having two printers the same in two different states across this country. So I use Seller Central heavily. I use GoDaddy accounting or bookkeeping or something like that. I don't even know how to get into it. I use it only to pull all the information in from, I have 3 eBay stores. I have Amazon. I will have Walmart set up within a week. I have several credit cards, checking account. All that stuff needs to come in someplace for my accountant to put it into whatever software he uses. Everybody knows it, and I just can't think of the name of it. I use Joe Lister. I love Joe Lister. Joe Lister, if you're listening, I love you, buddy. You make me a ton of money. Because every item I have listed on Amazon is listed on eBay with Joe Lister. What other software do I use? I just got forecast.ly.
What about Jungle Scout?
Oh, Jungle Scout. Thanks, babe. Jungle Scout. Love Jungle Scout. I got this forecast.ly. It's supposed to tell me how many items to order. Forecast doesn't. I pay $200 a month. I think it's kind of pricey. I'm starting to understand my inventory, except for I'm started to hand it off to my brother and say, here, you handle this. You seem to be better at this inventory stuff than I am. I don't know if everybody else has the same problem. Amazon seems to be dragging their feet to get my stuff back on the shelf. I've been sending in tons of stuff and nothing's getting on the shelf for sale. And that's about all the programs I have. I've never bought a list. I've never joined a paid group. I've gotten less than this many bolos from people that really were anything, because I don't do RA. I believe in granny panties. Anybody that's in my group, I have a very small group. I think there's 30 people in it. Nobody really participates. They just kind of read my writings, my ramblings. I ramble for about an hour every morning in type about what I'm doing in my business. I strongly believe in granny panties. If you don't know what granny panties are, I'm going to explain to you. It's the boring items that if I told you you could make money on them, you laugh. Such as balloons, granny panties. Granny panties. Your great-grandmother wore granny panties. There was no thongs or whatever Brazilian bikinis or any of that. And they were probably white. So that's the type of big bloomers. That's the type of item I look for. It sold in 1950. It sold in the 60s. It sold in the 70s, 80s, 90s. And guess what? It still sells today. They're basically the same. The fads, the thongs and all that stuff, all them colors and the pinks and all that stuff comes and goes. And I love the young guns, and they crushed my numbers. They make me look like pennies compared to what they did. The group of them, $17 million, I heard, is what they hit. Yes, the material does change. But that's the type of items I look for. But they have to find their next product. My product, I can order my product for the next year. And if I don't sell it all, it'll sell the following year. My items are very, very, very generic. If I sell coffee cups, for example, they're just plain white ceramic coffee cups because everybody likes coffee cups. There's no writing on them, nothing fancy, nothing. Question. Keep it simple. I keep it as simple as possible. When I look at a new product, I look to see how long it's been manufactured.
Hey, John, I just posted I heard you say you're going to get on Walmart. I don't know if you're aware of it, but there's I created a group a short while ago called the Sellers of Walmart. It's free.
Okay.
It's a Facebook group. I posted a link there if you ever want to join it or anybody on here wants to join it. It's just a group that there's very few of those out there. I think we're one of two of them right now. And Walmart is becoming a big marketplace. So we wanted to put something out there where there's a community to help Walmart sellers.
Please share John's group's name too. I don't even know what it is. I think it's No BS eCommerce or something. It was formed right after I got kicked out of a paid group. I kind of told everybody in my opinion, and I had a lot of people supporting me in IMs, but we need the link. All right. Ask wife. My wife doesn't know. My wife does not have Facebook, believe it or not, because she's a teacher. Oh, I can minimize this. Hold on. I'll find it for you guys right now. My wife is a school teacher. So in this state, and I don't know, it's probably in all states, it's it's called No BS eCommerce. Uh-oh, where are you guys at? I lost you. There we are. It's No BS eCommerce. And there's the link. Somebody already beat me to it. You guys are fast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she did teach autism. She teaches, how do you say it, Lori? What do you teach?
Developmentally disabled.
Developmentally disabled. Sometimes her kids are very aggressive, but my wife loves her kids. Every time we go shopping, she shops for them more than she shops for us. I'm like totally lost now.
So John, are you doing this? Are you doing this by yourself? Is your wife helping you at all, or are you outsourcing any part of the business?
Yes, I am a full-blown corporation. I at one point had a very famous investor. If you're a hockey fan, you definitely know him. His name is Dave the Hammer Schultz, was an investor in my company. We no longer do business together, which is okay. Who do I have helping me? My wife has a very specific job title. It's CSO of the corporation, which stands for Chief Spending Officer. Her job is to spend money, and not for the business. She likes her favorite thing to tell everybody about my business is that my mother gets a paycheck just for being mom. My mom is my payroll clerk. I don't know what you call it. She does my payroll for me. She goes in and pushes 3 buttons in my payroll system to send everybody a check by direct deposit. And one of the checks is hers, so that she can live out the rest of her life very well. Again, I keep profit, but
You're starting to tell them why I didn't have Facebook.
oh, she doesn't have Facebook because she's a teacher, and legally you're not allowed to be friends with your students, and she was worried about being friends with her students, so she doesn't do it. More men need to be like me. No, that's not a good thing. I, any questions for me? Yeah. Yeah, any questions? Don't be scared to ask. I am an open book. I sell flags, by the way, and I know the big forbidden thing on Amazon is don't tell anybody what you sell. Well, Gary Vee said to somebody, I'll give you my milk, I'll give you my cow, I'll give you everything, I'll give you a step-by-step guide. But without my drive, you ain't gonna do it. So what does it matter? Listen, if you're just starting out, network. If you've been doing this for 10 years like I have, network. Surround yourself with people that are just, don't hang out with me if you're doing $1,000 a month. Listen, I'll do my best to answer your questions. I really will. Anybody can email me anytime you want. Hit me up in my group. I am an open book, and anybody who knows me will tell you I am an open book. I have no problems talking to anybody. But your problems are so much different than the problems I'm having. I'm not the best person to help you. But if you found somebody who's doing just a little bit more than you, they're the ones that are going to really be able to help you. And give back. Give. Gary Vee, and I'm sorry I harp on Gary Vee. Gary Vee is my hero. I don't like his foul mouth.
Yeah, I don't like his foul mouth either. But Gary Vee, in his books, he's such a motivator. I mean, he's just an awesome person in general, as far as the process and what he talks about. Not necessarily the message and how he comes across saying it, but he definitely is a motivator. And I think the 100% thing you said, I have a fulfillment center, and a lot of the fulfillment centers that are out there now got started because of me showing them and telling them what I do. I'm an open book. Anybody that knows me knows that I will share my information with them. I have no problem helping somebody. I want them to succeed. So the same with what you're talking about. Give back, and just continue to bless others, and you're totally going to be blessed. I mean, there's nothing about it. Look at you. I mean, coming from homeless to where you are right now, to me, is a very humbling story. That's just, that's sort of like, I came as a child, I was on welfare at a certain point in time with my family, and it's just unbelievable that if you put your mind to it, what you can do, and get around those circles and get into those, those conferences and meet those people, and just, pick their brains. A lot of these conferences you go to, they're there and they're willing to share with you. They're willing to help you, but you got to be willing to put yourself out too. I mean, you can't be shy and not want to put yourself out. I mean, this is a business where you've got to take action. But if you're willing to put yourself out there, there's many groups and many people that are willing to go above and beyond to help you be successful. You just got to want it, and you just got to want the help. And I think one of the biggest things that we all have to do is we all have to realize that if we want to be successful, we definitely have to keep our egos in check. And
oh yeah, absolutely. Listen, it'd be so easy for me to say, hey, look at me. I was homeless and now I did $1 million. It's all me. It ain't none me. Trust me. If you had left it to me, I'd have screwed this up a long time ago. I'd still be out there sleeping somewhere. Now it's going to be in my motorhome.
I think that's awesome, by the way.
By the way, I am 50 years old, and my wife and I are retiring. Yes, I am retiring. Who helped you most to be chasing the young guns? In all honesty, I was lazy. When I went to that conference with Chris Green, I don't know, John, I seen you put the link out to my story that I wrote.
Yes.
2013, I did $256,000 on eBay.
To me, on eBay, that's amazing, because in 2013, we're only talking 3 years ago. Amazon was still getting to where it is now, but to do $250,000 on Amazon is amazing. I mean, on eBay is amazing. I mean, I know a lot of people, especially since it's a niche type thing, and you hit on the fact that, you know, you work in niche markets, and I think that that's a great place to be. And a lot of people don't look at that, and they just try to mainstream. What's the hot items, and how can I sell those hot items? And they create a lot of competition by that. What you're doing is niche, and that's why you're being successful.
I want to get you. I'm going to. Coming from China. Yeah, I'm really excited about that. 7 days after I leave, tagged, bagged, sealed, my design through an importer in this country. I did nothing in China. I didn't do the it out if I wanted to, but again, I'm lazy. I have a relationship with this importer, and I've bought so much from this importer. I remember my second order with him. He said, "Are you sure you want to buy that much? It's an awful lot. Nobody's ever bought that much from me at one time. Do you really know what you're doing?" Him and I have built a very good relationship. Before he sends any product over to be made, I get all the specs in my email. And he says, "What do you think? And are you interested in buying any of them?" What's a Q&A? I don't know what a Q&A is, John.
Yeah, I got that. I was just waiting for you to finish what
Okay.
you're doing. I don't want to interrupt you.
This guy, we are working on Christmas 2000. I'll be placing a full container, a 40-foot container off my stuff for Christmas 2017, right after the Chinese New Year. I think it's the end of February. They're done partying over there or whatever. Excuse me. So they, the reason I do so well on my niches is I just work with one, and I just keep working. I work that relationship as long as I can. I try to marry my suppliers. I deal with the same person at the flag company that I dealt with when I started. I have the owner on speed dial, and I have spoken to him. Do you care about the competition at all? No, I don't really care. What competition? Yes, I do. I'm not. Go ahead. I'm
Since you're
sorry.
answering the question, we have one that says, after you retire, what do you think will be the biggest threats to your business?
The biggest threats?
I would personally answer that there is no threats. I mean, there's enough competition out there for everybody. I don't worry about competition.
You know, when I do these things, I've done a couple interviews. I did one with Steven. I can't think of his last name.
Oh, Steven Peterson.
Yes, he asked me to do one with him. I try not. Look, I have a very strong faith, and I try not to bring it up. As far as a threat to my business, I have no threats. There's no threats in my life. If I get up tomorrow breathing, I had nothing to do with that. That was all God.
Amen.
And I fully, truly believe that down to the smallest particle in my body. And my business, if it's threatened, it's because he's testing me or allowing it that should happen, and I just don't fight it. You know, I know that you're supposed to hide what you do and it's supposed to be secretive and don't tell anybody you sell flags.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about that stuff. He takes and provides for us, and that's all you have to worry about. Have your faith and understand that regardless of competition, he has a plan set for us, and it's already set in place and set in stone, and we just have to, realize we have to follow it. Are we going to have obstacles, ups and downs? Absolutely we are, but that's life in general. You just have to look at that as tests that you have to get through to be able to get to that place where he has already placed for you. So I just think, like what John says, I don't worry about competition and biggest threats or anything like that. I just keep being the person that I am, continuing to give, continuing to help people and reach out through webinars, through the things that I do with my fulfillment center and other things, just continuing to be that person that he wants us to be. And that's to reach out and help our fellow human beings. And that's what I do. And I think John probably agrees with that.
Yeah. And I'll tell you a quick story. A friend of mine has a double doctorate in theology. He very good friend of mine. He wanted to get into eBay, but he was kind of busy. And I said, you know what? I'm playing with these flat files on eBay. I'll just download my store in a flat file and upload it into your store for you. It'll be a complete store. All you have to do is change the PayPal address. He still has the store. When did I do that? You remember, Lord? 6 years ago, maybe 7 years?
Yeah.
6, 7 years ago. I just gave him a complete copy of everything I sold and everything. Where to get the stuff, how to get it, who to call, what to do, step by step, every single thing. He still has the store on eBay. He makes about $5,000 a year. He does absolutely nothing. He just texts in the morning, oh, I got an order. I got to fulfill this order. That's all he does. I can give you what I have, and unless you have the drive to actually do it, you're not going to do it. And the one thing I truly believe deep down in my heart, and I'm finding to be more true as I get bigger, is if you have the drive to do it, you really don't care what I'm doing anyway. That's like the profit question. How much profit? I have no freaking clue. Honestly, I don't. And the guys that are doing out there working every day, they know how much I'm making. They have an idea. I have an idea what I'm making, but I don't know. I don't just spout off a number. And my overhead's much higher than it should be in this business. I pay people way too much money to work for me, but I don't need it. So I pay them well, and they're very loyal. My assistant is 22 years old. I have a full-time assistant. She is 22 years old. I will give you her phone number, and you cannot get her to come to work for you. She is not leaving me. She knows that she is basically has a job for life. I have built. Look, we all have a job. If we don't go to work, we don't make money. Unless you created a business. Everything I did to make my job into a business. The last thing I have is the inventory, the ordering. I could make that a job for somebody else to do. Is my sales ability, my personality. I know it's very small. Yes, I make a joke about it because I'm such a big person. Donald Trump and I have a lot in common with the big personalities. I just feel that's the one little thing that I enjoy doing, because I'm retiring. My wife is a late sleeper. If you know me, I start work at 3:30, between 3:30 and 4:30 in the morning, and I do not set an alarm clock. I am up and looking at my Amazon, eBay, working. I'm just an early person. I like to have my work done before the daytime. Do I click on this? I want to see what this Q&A thing is, because it's really
Yeah,
bothering me.
you got another question here. We're going on an hour here. I want to get this last question in. It's any tips for researching products?
Okay. I don't know how to do a screen share, and this would be a long answer. Jungle Scout has a feature that says on the bottom left-hand corner is called Next Page. I am a firm believer in Dollar Tree. A lot of people know that I sold Dollar Tree items. At one point, I was ordering $6,000 a week from Dollar Tree on average. The store manager loved me because he hit his bonus all the time. And what I did was I learned how to search with Jungle Scout. And what I mean by that is I would go into Amazon and I would type in a product name. Dollar Tree is Greenbrier. I would not suggest it because I have been talking about Dollar Tree for a while now, and everybody and their brother will be doing Dollar Tree, and I lost you guys again. I would do Greenbrier, and then I found out that people were using Greenbrier spelled G-R-E-N. They misspelled it intentionally so they could kind of hide their product. Then I found out that if they bundled something, they kind of gave it a whole different brand name. I've studied how to search. My wife used to send me to bed at 9 o'clock. You look tired, go to bed. And I'd be like, I got to do one more search on Jungle Scout. That's why she yelled out Jungle Scout. I use Jungle Scout so much. Watching TV in the living room. Our children are grown and out of the house, so it's just her and I. Then I learned how to go through people's stores and find other products that were selling well. Then I learned how to search by product. Like I found out that, try to give you an example. Bowls, they have these little tiny glass bowls. You get I think they call them spice bowls. They're like pinch bowls. They're real small. They have two different sizes. But if you search them by the title that was on DollarTree.com, the product would come up in Amazon. So I started doing that for a whole bunch of Dollar Tree products. I tend to work one thing solid. I don't know how many people were in Nate's group when I did the Black Friday shopping and I spent $44,000. I shopped at Walgreens. Now that it's over, they had a toy sale that started the week before Thanksgiving. Instead of buy two, get one free, it was buy two, get two free. Then on Thanksgiving at midnight, Wednesday night at midnight before Thanksgiving, they had a toy sale, 50% off. Black Friday, they had it last year, they had it this year, 50% off toys. And I went from store to store to store to store to store in a rented van. I don't know how many people seen it. I had came home, slept a couple hours, and my wife and I got in the van and we went up to my mother-in-law's. We left like 2 hours before we needed to so that we could stop at every Walgreens between here and my mother-in-law's. Left there and came home, stopping at all the Walgreens along the way, a different way home. And that's all we did. was Walgreens toys. And I walk in and say, how many toys can I buy? Some stores were like, oh, you can only buy 3 of each. Some stores were like, oh, we have cases in the back. How many would you like? And I'd say all. When buying toys, what is your strategy for finding them? I started in September. I knew the sale was coming for 50% off toys. I scanned every toy in Walgreens. I watched it. I marked it. I checked it. I probably went to Walgreens 5 times a week scanning the same freaking toys. I went to the same Walgreens. The manager kept asking me. I said, well, I know what your Black Friday sale is. He says, I don't even know what it is. I said, well, I do. And I'm just lining up what I'm going to buy from you.
That's kind of funny because I did the same thing with Walgreens this year. We did, but a little bit different story than yours is you went out to all these Walgreens. I have a relationship with one of the managers, and I had him bring in from Kentucky, Tennessee, all the surrounding areas of the Walgreens. He shipped all the stuff to the store. I was there on Friday. On Monday, all those things came to his store. I picked them up and left. So I only hit the one store, but I got the load from about 10, 15 stores. It was good. Yeah, that Black Friday sale, we only do, if we do the arbitrage, we do it around the Black Friday. That's the only time in the year that we do it. We didn't do it last year. This year we did a little bit of it.
I did it Black Friday weekend. And with toys, you go by rank. I don't go by nothing. Walgreens, they got a 50% off sale. This is 2 years ago. A friend of mine said, go to Walgreens, buy these toys, buy all you can. I trusted the guy to the point that I never even checked. I never even scanned one of them. He told me what to buy, sent me pictures of them on my phone. I went and bought every one I could find. And I basically, this year, it was basically the same toys. And when I said, oh, these are the same ones as last year, and I saw them all, okay, these are the ones I'm going to buy. But I kept watching. What I kept watching for was, I was afraid that so many new sellers were coming out for, Q4s, where all the money is, always Q4, always Q4. That's where all the money is. It really isn't. Because there's so many, yes, you make good money and there's a lot of money and a lot of sales, but there's so many new sellers that really don't understand pricing, I believe, that I was watching to see how many people were selling it more than what the item was doing. I don't know how long you go with this.
Yeah. Ada's asking you if you sell in other than the U.S. Do you sell like in a different country?
Do you mean on platform like European platforms or stuff?
Yeah, like Amazon.
No, I don't. No, I started with, I use eBay's. Guys got to understand something. I push eBay. Y'all laugh. Watch it. eBay's coming back and coming back big. I can promote my products on eBay now. They have pay-per-click, and not even pay-per-click. It's better than pay-per-click. It's I only pay when somebody buys, and my sales are up 100 and some % over last year with that. They have a global shipping program. Again, my memory's kind of don't remember names and stuff. I think it's global shipping program or something.
Yeah, they have.
I ship through that crazy mad. It's amazing how many people want American-made flags in other countries. My best customer for flags, everybody knows. My best customer for flags, one order was Mark Zuckerberg. Facebook. The Facebook Corporation bought $3,200 worth of Oregon State flags from me in one shot. That's my best customer selling flags. And just so you know, I got that order was through Amazon. I actually looked the number up and called to verify that it was a legitimate order because that's a lot of money to ship out and find out that it's not a legitimate order. Yes, eBay is adding restrictions. I spent upwards of $1,000 at each Walmart. In fact, I offered I told my brother if he could spend $1,000 in one Walgreens, I would give him a $100 bonus. Just for like a little laugh and giggle competition. He shopped all the Walgreens in the state of Arizona. John, I'll talk all night.
Yeah, I know. We're going to stop it so that.
Okay, that's what I was saying. If you want to cut this off, I'll talk all night about business.
Yeah, and I think you've been really fantastic. And I just want to say a couple of things. Pro Seller Talk. This is going on now, my second year of doing this, and John coming on and having John come on here and be gracious and spend his time with us and donate the information that he's doing and caring for you guys. I just want you guys, I'm asking a favor that you guys reach out and tell people about Pro Seller Talk. I bring guests on at least once or twice a week on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And if you're liking the information that you're getting, like from John and the guests that have been on here, please share this with other people. We've been talking about all night today about paying it forward. What a better way to pay something forward, to give them the ability to come on and listen to people like John that have these great stories of coming from the homeless to where he is now. I mean, what a humbling story. And if you guys don't think you can do it, I mean, John is not the only one. I know several people in my community that have been homeless and have same kind of situational type stories that John has. And they've all come to know Amazon and really have changed their lives for the better. And I've had some of them as guests on, and we'll continue to keep bringing those guests. So like I said, if you guys could do me a big favor and pass this forward and let people know, I have a Facebook group called Pro Seller Talk. Have them join that group and they can find out, it's free. They can come in and find out about these shows that I do on the Tuesdays and Thursdays of almost every week. You guys have been great. We really appreciate you coming in here and spending your time with John and myself. John and I like nothing better to come in here and help you guys. And hopefully you take some of the information that John has given you tonight and you do start to put it in action, because, like John said, he can sit here and talk for hours and hours about business. But guess what? If he's just talking and you're not taking action, then it's just John talking to me and we're having a good conversation. You want to make sure that you're taking action. Of all the guests that I bring in here, I mean, there's certain parts of certain things from each guest that you could really benefit from and really start to take action. And that's what this is all about: taking action, bringing yourself to the next level. And like John said, he's in a very short time, he's retiring and he's going to be traveling with his camper. And nothing better than being able to do what you want when you want. And I think John will even attest to that, he's got himself in a position where a lot of us would like to be. And the simple fact is you can be there if you do take action. So again, guys, thanks for coming in here. God bless as always. I look forward to seeing you on my up and coming shows. Make sure you register when you see the Zoomcast that I send out. I'm going to give John the last word. John, very humbling, very pleased to hear your story, and very gracious of you to share the information that you shared with the audience tonight.
Thanks. I got two quick things. One, please do not message me unless we're friends. You get lost in somewheres on Facebook that I don't understand. If you want to reach me, I'd prefer you join my little group. I'm very active in that. If you ask a question, I try to answer quickly.
Do you know how to post that, John, in the chat, or you want me to post it?
Group? Yeah,
just post it so they have the information so they can know how to reach you.
That's the easiest way. I'm not trying to build my group. Listen, it's called No BS e-commerce for the simple fact that I got tired of being pitched to. I'm not going to sell you. I promise I will never sell you anything. Nothing. I have nothing for sale. Unless you need a flag, then come see me. it's easier for me to see it. I am extremely busy right now, so please understand if you reach out to me. I want to help anybody that asks for help. I will try to help you the best I can. Don't ask me how to do it. I'll give you general ideas, but don't ask me what products I sell and who my suppliers are. In fact, they won't even talk to you because I speak mostly to the owners of the companies now. I will try and help you along. I throw bolos out all the time because I find stuff that I just don't do. Just understand that I'm leaving in 12 days. I'm moving from a house into a 38-foot RV, and we have to downsize quickly. So that's all I have. Thank John. I want to thank you personally for having me on, and thank you for doing it. This was aggressive. This was a lot of fun. I had fun doing this. I'd like to do more of them. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thank you for coming on here. And I just requested to join your group. So, guys, if you're in John's group and you need any questions I can help answer, I'll be there because I just requested to be in his group. So it's my pleasure to be able to come in and help you too, John. Anything I can do for you, just please let me know.
Thanks, man.
Hey, thanks again. God bless, and give my best to your wife.
All right. God bless.
Take care.
All right. Bye.